Robbie, thanks again for being here after the big break. I'm so happy to see you're still with us after a very exciting day and a lot of fun too. I really enjoyed last night's show. But before we get into last night's show, I want to ask you, you watched it, you saw Justin's comments at the end from last week's show. And did that kind of shock you a little bit? It sure did me.
No, I mean, Justin's got a Justin's got a great golf game. I mean, like I said before, I mean, all due respect to his golf game. But, I mean, everybody's personality is different. I mean, you are who you are, and it is what it is. So, I mean, he's confident. I mean, some people might think he's cocky, but I just think the guy's real confident, but he can back it up. And, if you can back it up, then be confident. But, it is what it is. He is who he is. But, I don't have no problem with him. I did what I was supposed to do when I played him. I had respect for his game, so I bought my half shot and took advantage of the game that was playing. So there's a lot of luck involved. So.
Well, especially in a big break, because it isn't real golf, as they say. We sure saw that this week. Yeah, you had to hand over that over $3,000, which obviously hurt, and you made it very clear you never want to enter elimination again. But we saw David do it as well today. I think that's going to become more of a pattern, given the success you had. So you may have started something there.
Well, I mean, you have to have respect for everybody on the show. I mean, it's a big break, anything can happen. And it's just like when David spent that money for against Russell. I mean, Russell, he hit some clutch golf shots. I mean, you got to have respect for anybody on the show. You don't know what's about to happen. I mean, you can't really control what the other man does, and you got to expect the unexpected. And and I would have done the same thing if I was in David's situation. You're trying to survive and make it on to the next show, and Russell hit great golf shots throughout the show. And for a man that does what he does for a living, and he's a family man, class act, all utmost respect for that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get to play the golf and have the privilege to play as much as the rest of us do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very impressed with his golf game and his clutch performance. So David did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah. No, it both good calls. Well, breakfast was interesting. Watching Will call out Carl, even though Carl really wasn't eligible to be called out. I thought that was kind of interesting. But you made an interesting statement. You said that Will really wanted to be the center of attention. I was wondering where that came from, why you said that.
I don't really remember why I said that. Will knew he could win, and he knows he can win, and I guess we're all good to find out if he does win. But like you say, he's a very confident player also. He can back it up, and he's not scared.
Mm.
And he loves that. He thrives on that spotlight, and he wants that pressure on him. I just thought that I think Carl was getting golf shots, and he was kind of still in the spotlight on him a little bit. So far, Will has absolutely just he's not hitting any shots. He took advantage of the first challenge and get out of Dodge quick. So.
Yeah, he should have. Yeah.
Great individual.
Yeah. Well, it is fun to watch, actually. There looks to be a lot of camaraderie between all of you, and that's so much fun as opposed to sort of that negative drama we sometimes see on these shows. Let's talk about that first immunity and you and your 3-wood sitting back at the hotel. Had you already reached your limit on clubs and just decided not to bring it, or what was that all about?
But I had my clubs out that night, goofing off with them and wiping my grips off and cleaning my grooves and that sort of thing. And I stuck at the corner beside a lamp, and I left them out that night. And that morning, I was kind of rushed and just stuck them in my bag, and I was half asleep and wasn't paying no attention like I'd done. And when I got out there, I realized I left my 3-wood, but I just put a bad golf swing on it,
Yeah.
And there was no excuse, but I flat out got beat. I mean, that boy doggone me.
Yeah.
Perfect drive right on the left range, and I just put a bad swing on it, and I just flat out got beat. I don't care if I had the best 3-wood in the world. That dude flat out kicked my butt.
Well, you know what was really great, again, it's this different attitude that we're seeing with you guys, and you were cheering for Kent at that point to, get it in, and, it was, it was great to see, as opposed to getting mad and throwing a club and getting upset. You were the exact opposite. It was a breath of fresh air.
Well, I had a little 50-yard shot, kind of short-sighted in a sense. The skin was cut with eye. I didn't have much green to work with, plus I had a tight lie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still could have hit a great golf shot. Great shot from where I was with no room to work with would have been 15 to 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was two-putted for par, I mean, I'd have took that all today. If he'd gave me a par in a golf tournament before I hit that shot up. So I wanted him to make birdie. That would just made me feel a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. No, and it was great. But again, you took a bad shot with humor when you hit that second one off that tight line, and you in the trees. What did you call it? You were sitting in the George Bush. That was just brilliant.
Like you say, you get used to that microphone. It's so lightweight. You don't know it's on.
Mm.
And I mean, it travels to the bathroom with you also. So you've got to watch what you're saying, but you forget it was on, and you make an edit in any fashion they like. You sign your life away, like I say. But I guess it's kind of embarrassing for me to watch it, but I guess it's funny for other folks. But when I watch it, it's like, oh God, I have no clue what's about to come out my mouth. So that's not what
Well, we love it, so don't ever stop. I'm sure all your friends say the same thing. Well, it was the blind blackjack game. I thought was brilliant. It just was such an interesting little twist in the whole big break. And you were an A student watching Carl play that game with David, and then you did it. You had that silly grin on your face. That was just priceless. What did you think last night when you were watching that?
Well, if it wasn't for that wall, and if I wasn't hidden from the challenge, or if he wasn't hidden from the challenge, well, he would have. That's what made that game unique. Mm-hmm. It was an awesome game, but it was a lot of luck. I wouldn't say that's really golf. That was more of a game. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of luck involved. I got extremely lucky. Now, I picked the two teams because they were 65 yards away. Mm-hmm. And I executed the first time, and the second time it kind of barely rolled out to the 5. And if I wanted to go after the 5 again, which was 70 yards away, 70 to 75 yards away, well, what if I hit it and it checks up in the king? I bust. Mm-hmm. So that was a tough gamble. And I didn't want to go for the 3 because 18 is no better than 15 in my book. So Carl hadn't went in front of me. I probably would have done a lot of things different. I went to school on him and his game pace, and I hit 2 good shots. It's just the second one barely rolled out of the king, which I thought he was watching, and I thought he might have thought, okay, he got 20. Mm-hmm. So I went back to the bench, making him think I had 20. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like you say, with that wall there, it just made the game that much better. And so when he turned to look at me, I mean, I was part of the game. I had to do what I had to do. I wanted to survive. Mm-hmm. It's not golf, but I had to do what I had to do if I want to keep going. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of feel real lucky about that. I feel very important for Russell because I wouldn't say I beat him. That wasn't really golf. That was more, I don't know, that was more just luck. So mm-hmm. I'm not going to take any credit for any of that.
Well, there's a lot of luck in golf, but there's a lot of gamemanship too, and even though this isn't a typical golf, you did what you had to do, and you would have done the same thing. He would have done the same thing back to you. So, it's. I think it actually adds a lot. I'm particularly happy though that the elimination challenge is about real golf, and you watched it. You sat there and watched Russell and David. Both of them hit some great shots during that. So that's kind of a nice way to know that he had a chance to come back, even though he didn't win in the end. Russell, you didn't put him out. There was a lot more than that big break or that blackjack game in this whole show.
Yeah. Well, your goal is to win the first challenge. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about anything else. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about what's come. You don't have to worry about luck and the money. how much money you got to work with by yourself and anything. You don't have to worry about that. You go out there and execute the first challenge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but these guys are, you got to expect the unexpected, and it's such a nerve-wracking experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm as nervous as I've been in my life, and you know, I just feel privileged to be on to the next show. I don't want to take any credit for anything I've done with past shows because I didn't hit a good shot. Now I did hit 2 good little 65-yarders, but in the puppy challenge, but you know, that was part of the game, and that's hats off to the golf challenge. They put on that was a great game for television, but it was a lot of luck. So I wouldn't really say I beat Russell in a golf challenge. That was more of a gamble there.
Yeah.
So I felt really bad for him. He's a class act guy, and he's a family man. And I have a lot of respect for people like that.
Yeah. No question. And it was certainly clear at the end of the show when he laughed that it was. He walked out with great dignity, and he just was a true gentleman out there, and it was great to see that, especially playing against David. He'd had some struggles with David earlier on in the series, and it was really cool to watch him act like such a class act.
Yeah, well, Russell doesn't get to play the golf that we do. So,
yeah.
So he has a great golf shot, not for a man to play that much golf and to have a busy duty and a family man like he is. I was very impressed with the shots he did throughout the show. He's a fighter and he never gave up. I just hate to see him have to go in and do to it.
Yeah.
I can't say but it's part of the game.
Yeah, it's part of the game. Well, this has been great, Robbie. Have you got anything you want to close with? Is there anything that you wanted to mention about the show that I didn't ask you, or?
No, I guess that's it.
Okay.
I appreciate you having me on, and I feel very blessed and very lucky to have made it on to the next show. So
yeah.
It's called the Big Break for a reason. You get lucky breaks, you get good breaks, and bad breaks. So it's part of the big break.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to watching next week's show, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk again, and you have a great week.
Thank you, Gail. God bless you, honey.